Hi, this is Madman.
And this is Morthieus.
Yeah, hi. Welcome to our Halloween special. But today we're using Dark Souls 2 backdrop. We're a big fan of Dark Souls. That's a beautiful game.
As well.
Yeah. Right, I've got a nice spooky tale for everybody. Nice short and sweet one. And Morpheus has got some nice short stories as well. General creepy ones. Right, you want to take it away, Morpheus?
Sure. Right. I'm going to save the best one for last, so I'll read this one out first.
Hi.
So, me and my friend bought this old house, and my friend was in charge of converting the kitchen into a master bedroom, and I was in charge of taking the wallpaper down because my friend's lazy. And so, while I was on wallpaper duty. Oh, but by the way, about this house has wallpaper everywhere. For some reason, the owners, before we bought it, decided to wallpaper every room. It's very odd and very, very strange. So I started to remove the wallpaper. And it's oddly satisfying. Like sometimes, do you remember back in school and you kind of like put glue on your fingers and you kind of like peeled it off? Back in like primary school. But sometimes I'll get an odd satisfaction situation, like kind of like that. And I don't know about you, but it's kind of pretty cool. And so I was doing this for the longest time until I hit one of the rooms, and under the corner of a section of paper in every room there's a person's name. Date. Well, curiosity got the best of me one night, so I googled the names and discovered that the person or persons were actually missing persons, and the date matching the person was actually the date they went missing. So the next day I was just kind of like, oh, this is strange. So I made a list of names and dates, and I notified the police. The police actually came out to our new house, and I overheard one of the guys say, "Yep, it's human." And I said, what's human? And the police officer said, "Ma'am, where is the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't some wallpaper you're removing." It's human skin.
Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fucking... sorry, I'm trying not to swear. Pretty Sorry.
Right, I got another one. I got one for you. Right.
Okay.
This security team of two men, right, get a phone call from the dispatch saying that alarms have gone off in this large doctor's surgery. Can you go up and check it? And we've got the key holder en route with the keys. So the two security guards said, okay, let's get in the car. We drive off to the location. And as they get there, there's an old man leaning against the doors saying, "Are you the guys who need to be let in?" And they said yes. And he goes, "Well, my name's Brian." Shakes their hands and unlocks the doors for them and gives them the keys. And he tells them that the green keys are for the separate rooms, but the yellow key is the master key for every internal room, to save them fumbling on with every key for each room. So the guards thanked him and said they'll be check inside if you want to wait outside. And he goes, oh no, I'm going to get a cup of tea," said Brian, and just give him a ring when he needs to pick up the keys again. So Brian disappears and security guards enter the place. It's a large surgery. It looks like it used to be a factory but been converted into separate units and long halls with each room dotted across. So they notice that every single room's open. So in turn, they both go in one room, check it, lock the door behind them, continue on to the next room, then the next room, and so forth, and so on, and look at every single door. But when they get to the one at the end, they check it, it's empty. And they close the door, lock it, and they turn around, and they notice that all the doors that they previously checked and locked were open. They're going, hang on. So they quickly go inside, turn the lights on, check the rooms that they're fully empty, and they're going, oh, yeah, they both said, yeah, it's empty. This is a bit creepy. So again, they lock the doors, check the next room, lock the doors to get to the lift and let themselves out. So as they go out, they lock the door, reset the alarm, and think, there's nothing here. False alarm. So they decide to get Brian back to pick up his keys. So they phone the dispatch saying, oh, can you ask the key holder to return and pick up his keys? And the dispatch says, what do you mean? Recall him, he hasn't arrived yet. He's stuck in traffic. He would not be there for another hour.
That's kind of creepy.
Anyway, that's really odd. How can someone that's already here expecting us and has keys for the building? Well, the dispatch checks it out, and he asks what was the name of the actual key holder. He said, oh, his name's Brian, and the dispatch described him. Was he old? Kind of oldish fella? He went, yes. Apparently there was a Brian on their payroll, but he died a month later and no one could find his keys.
Well, that's kind of it's creepy, but it sounds like it's kind of last thing you needed to do before you could die. Kind of passed on.
Yeah.
But if that happened in real life, that would be like, yeah, I'm out of this job. Bye bye.
Fuck that, gonna see a shrink for the rest of my life.
I wouldn't do that.
I would. Look at that, I would say. Right, you any more?
Oh, yes. I like this one. I'm gonna have to get psyched up to. This one's called The First Day of School. So everyone loves the first day of school, right? New year, new classes, new friends. It's a day full of potential and hope before all the dreary depression of realities to ruin all the fun. I like the first day of school for different reasons. You see, I have this sort of power. When I look at people, I can sense a sort of aura around them, a coloured outline based on how that person has to live. Mostly everyone I meet my age is surrounded by a solid green hue, which means they have plenty of time left. A fair amount of them have a yellow-orange tinge to their auras, which means a car crash or some kind of other tragedy. Anything that takes people before their time. The real fun is when the auras venture into a red end of the spectrum. Every now and again, I see someone that's basically a walking spotlight. Those are the ones who get murdered or kill themselves. It's such a rush to see them and know their time is numbered. The fellow bite. I always get to class very early so I could scout out my classmates' fates. The first kids who walked in was basically radiating red. I chuckled to myself. Too bad, man. But as people kept walking in, they all had the same intense glow. I finally caught a glimpse of my own rose-tinted reflection in the window. But I was too stunned to move. Our professor stepped in and locked the door. His aura is a sickening shade of green.
He kills them all.
Yes. So this kid, I love this one because this kid's kind of like sick and psychotic.
Sick and twisted
Like
little shit.
Yeah, he's sick and twisted until he basically realizes, oh crap, he's gonna die. It's kind of like,
Yeah, no one likes
I
it
thought that was
coming. No one likes it knowing when it's come.
Now, since me and Madman have had many years on this world, we have some real IRL horror stories.
Hmm?
And I think we have some real IRL horror stories
Oh,
in
yeah.
real life. Yes. And I think you should tell the viewers the one of the blood.
The blood?
Yes.
Which one's that?
Do you remember when you had to go to the doctor and then you found out poisoning?
Oh yeah, when I had blood poisoning. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you should tell that story. That's kind of scary.
Well, you could have warned me in advance too, but it is a good story. Right.
Yes.
Apparently, I work with the general public, and sometimes you can get insect bites of people who not wash themselves properly. Well, apparently, according to my doctor, because I had what looks like a bruise on my arm, it was quite big, and I thought, oh, I've broken my wrist maybe, and it's bruised really badly, but it didn't feel painful, so I was a bit puzzled. So when I saw my GP, she took one look at it and says, oh, you look like you got a bit of blood poisoning. So she drew around it with a pen and said to me, oh, if that gets any worse, it spreads before your antibiotics kick in even, you need to go to hospital. So obviously it spread it that night, and I had no choice but to go to hospital. And I was there for about a few days, and I noticed one morning my vision was a bit blurry. I was going, But I'm the kind of guy who, when he has tiny health problems, I tend to stick my head in the sand and ignore it.
Yeah, just ignore it. Yeah.
It'll probably go away. But then the nurse comes to me and asks me a few standard questions, if I've been to the toilet and was there anything irritating me. And I was going to say, no, I'm fine. But something in me said, mention the eyesight. Why is your eyes blurred? Alright, well, it's just my eyes are very blurry. It just won't go away. And she looked at my sheet and she just darted out. Just ran out of the ward. I went, whoop, she off to. The next few minutes later, my doctor was looking over us, came out of nowhere with extra antibiotics, and he put me on a double dose. I went, oh, what's all that about for? Well, I was in there for another week and finally I got discharged, and I had to follow up with my GP. And my GP says, oh, they had to double the dosage. And I went, oh yeah, what was that about? And he says, oh, the poison's got into my bloodstream and it was slowly killing me. I went, what? I went, oh yeah. He says she would have been dead by morning. I went, but I said to myself, I was going to ignore that. I said I might be okay the following morning. And if I ignored it, I would have been dead by that morning.
I know, that's a scary thing about it.
Say one thing. I bought an extra pair of antibiotics and a clean pair of shorts. Whoa.
Yeah, I remember when you told us that. I was like, literally, like, whoa, that's
close. Too close for comfort. Right. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I've got one. It's horrific and it's funny at the same time. And I'm pretty sure I've told like you and Craig and everyone else this like 1,000 times. But it
well,
might
I
be
bet it's funny. Right.
Right. See, I used to be on this dating website called Plenty of Fish.
Mhm.
And I was talking to this lass. She was about 5'4". She was into like wrestling. She was actually part of like this wrestling club. And but she liked metal. She seemed alright. So we spoke to each other on Plenty of Fish for a while. And then we met up. And we went to Trillions. And I'm having a few drinks with her. Like she goes for a round, I go for a round. You know, everything's going okay. But before I was actually on the date, I bumped into Martin.
Yep. My friend.
I think it was yes, well, a friend. And this friend was actually like saying, "Oh, you should text us when like how it's going and stuff." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem." So I'm like, "Oh." So she goes out for a cigarette because I didn't know it was his phone. And I'm like, "Oh, you know, she's got like tattoos and she seems to be a bit more kind of like not really my type." And I'm kind of like, I don't think it's gonna work out. So I'm kind of like, I sent that message, and then she comes back, and then we're just talking and having a good time. I found out Spy as well, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, this is like strange. This is like a strange date, like, and she gets these two girls involved, and we're kind of, it doesn't go that way, by the way. We get these two, we get these two girls involved. And,
this is going to the sewer quite quick. It didn't actually been spooky, you know.
Yeah, it's. We'll get these two girls involved. Oh, the horrific thing hasn't happened yet, and they all go for a tab, and I'm like, oh, check that message. And it's like, how's it going? And I'm like, I sent you that message, and I checked my phone.
Then you send it to her.
I sent it to her.
So what did you do?
I'm panicking. I'm in a blind panic. I'm like, I'm half drunk. I'm kind of like, shit. I'm like, no. Oh. One of the girls came up, and I'm like, oh crap. I sent like this terrible message. It's in the middle of a date. I shouldn't. Oh, and she's like, oh, don't worry. Just tell her. And I'm like, right, yes, just tell her. Just tell her, that's fine. So I'm like, oh, and she's like, she's perfectly normal. Her personality hasn't changed. And I'm like, is your phone okay? And she says, oh, it died like 2-3 hours ago. And I'm like, whew, I'm safe. I'm just have to keep it under wraps. Keep it like.
But until she puts it back on charge and big.
Well, I felt so incredibly guilty by that point because I was kind of like, But later on, I kind of confessed to what I did, but then she kind of, because I was having a good time with her by that point, and you know, the tats and the fact that she's like an amateur wrestler didn't really bother us by that point, and I was just kind of like, oh, this could actually go somewhere, and then I was kind of like, I have to admit my wrongdoings. So she might be like, oh, that was a good date, and then say like, why the hell have I got this message? Type of thing. So I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna tell her. And I said like, sorry, but like earlier on, my friend was texting us, and he's saying how was it going, and there were some things that I said, but I accidentally sent it to you, and she's like, oh, like, no bother, just don't worry about it. And I'm like, right. Oh, you can say that I didn't hear from her ever again.
She went, son of a bitch.
I was just literally horrified that I sent it to her. I was like, ah! Because like she was coming back down, and I was like, oh crap. I'm literally gonna get slapped or
or mangled.
yeah.
Choke slam. Well, I've got another story for you. It's actually what happened to me when I was on one of these ghost hunts.
Alright.
I don't believe in ghosts, I'm afraid. I never have, because I've been on so many ghost hunts with friends and ex-girlfriends.
Didn't you go to the one in Edinburgh?
Oh yeah, I went down to Edinburgh Vault, saw nothing. Absolutely not. Anyway, here's a story. It was actually,
Okay.
I think it was in York, and we were in this building, and this woman was telling a story about a serial killer, right?
Right.
But it was so interesting. But we were in this room where there was a bit of a nasty draft coming in from this door, and it kept opening up. And I went, I know, I'll put my foot on it, keep it from opening up and all the time. So as I was listening, and she was saying that it was about this killer, whose favourite way of getting his victims is by scaring them. He'll open the door as you enter the bedroom, slowly, tiny bit, puts the knife in view, and makes the door creak as he opens it, so all I can hear is the and all I see is this knife, and he'd be out with a mask and he would stab the person to death, enjoying the look of fear on the victim's face. I went, oh, that's dead interesting. So then forwards, right? Now everyone's a bit shitted up about this story already, so I didn't realise I took my foot off the door. You know what happened? The door went, and everyone went, fucking hell.
That would be pretty good.
I'll just say I'll quickly got away from the door.
Oh, that would be good.
Oh, everyone laughed, like, except for me. I went a shade of red. I went, I can't believe I've done that.
I don't think I'd ever do that. Like, I don't think I'd ever go on close. There's a thing you can go and in Paris, and it's kind of like all these old tombs where they buried the dead.
Oh yeah, aye.
But it's just, I think it's called like Hell Below or something. It's just super weird because it connects like through of all France. There's like loads of them little tunnels underneath, kind of creepy tunnels that I think they used during war. But yeah, I could never do that. I could never go on one of those things. Like, I think I'll be like, yeah, I'm a man, I can do this, and then I'll be there and I'll be like, just like screaming my head off or holding on to something.
Oh, Mike, I do have another funny story that has to do with some catacombs.
Alright, what's this?
Alright. It was actually the vaults in Edinburgh.
Nice, yeah.
Well, the vaults were actually just a street underneath the city. And this girl was telling me about, like, the tour guide she was saying, oh, the victims were homeless people who were killed for experimentation, because the murderers would kill homeless people, drag the corpses to the university, and the university will pay for the corpses, you know, for medical research.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's a bit horrible. But also, and as you said,
been like,
oh yeah, it was like maybe 16th century, something like that.
yeah.
Well, as we went further down and all that, she told us about this story about as they were exploring down there before they opened up fully. They wanted to see how far the streets went. So they got the drills out and they were drilling everything trying to find extra rooms, extra tunnels, but two of the workers heard something. So imagine you're in pitch darkness, you're one of two workers, right? And you're drilling, and all you hear is what would you do?
Kind of look around in a panic, I suppose.
Well, he was a bit spooked, but he was weirdly intrigued. So he told his mate to turn off his drill, so in case it was something they misheard. And he said, "Well, why did you misheard that? I swear I heard a moan." So he comes to his location. Goes, "Okay, let's hear this." And then again, happened. They both went, "Fuck that!" and they were gone. They dropped the equipment where they stood, and they bolted. And finally got to the surface streets, and the supervisor says, "What the heck are you guys doing?" He says, "There's something down there. We can hear the moans. We're not going back down there." And says, "Oh, where?" The guy being level-headed, the supervisor was. He says, "I want to see this for myself." So all three of them go down there to where they dropped their actual drills. He says, "It was right here." And the supervisor's listening, and then again they heard and the supervisor says, "It's behind this wall here." So he picks up a sledgehammer, he swung it back, and he smashed the door. The wall burst open, and guess what they found?
Toilet?
No. That's just broke into a massage parlour with a customer going, "What the fuck's going on here?" And that explains the moans. There's a poor guy getting a massage going, "Oh yeah," and the next minute bricks are flying all over him.
That's when you make those noises, it sounds like a noise that you'd make when you've been holding it in for ages and then you just let yourself go and then you go,
No,
"Oh,
that's more like not. No, that's when you let it fly. Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh.
Well.
Oh yeah, he's probably like thinking, is this a part of the massage?"
Well, what I didn't realise, right, that once you finish that story, there was a little surprise that the tour guide had involved, right?
So,
As she got to the end of the tour, there was a guy hiding with a mask on. And he darted out going, "Rah!" And everyone, apart from me, jumped out of my skin. And they turned around and said to me, "What the hell, you got nerves of steel?" And I'm like, "What? You didn't jump when he came out." But you know what my confession is about that though?
what's that?
The tour guide, she was so hot, my mind was in her knickers.
Well,
That's why I didn't jump. I was too busy perving.
that's fine. That's fine. I think we should end this on. I've got this joke that I can't really do because I don't have the comic timing of it, but I've got the video here. I've got the video here, so it's only like a minute long, so it's not like.
Alright, let's hear it then.
Right, I'm gonna play it now.
Two prawns were swimming around in the sea one day. The first one was called Justin, and the second was called Christian. They were continually being chased and threatened by a shark that inhabited the area. Eventually, Justin had had enough. He said to Christian, "I'm fed up with being a prawn. I wish I was a shark. Then I wouldn't have to worry about being eaten all the time." As he said this, a large mysterious cod appeared and said, "Your wish is granted." And believe it or not, with that, Justin turned into a fearsome shark. Christian was horrified and so immediately swam away as he was scared of being eaten by his old friend. As time went by, Justin found his new life as a shark to be boring and lonely. None of his old friends would let him near them as they thought he would eat them, and so they just swam away whenever he approached. Two prawns were swimming around in the sea one day. The first one was called Justin, and the second was called Christian. They were continually being chased and threatened by a shark that inhabited the area. Eventually, Justin had had enough. He said to Christian, "I'm fed up with being a prawn. I wish I was a shark, then I wouldn't have to worry about being eaten all the time." As he said this, a large mysterious cod appeared and said, "Your wish is granted." And believe it or not, with that, Justin turned into a fearsome shark. Christian was horrified and so immediately swam away as he was scared of being eaten by his old friend. As time went by, Justin found his new life with the shark to be boring and lonely. None of his old friends would let him near them as they thought he would eat them, and so they just swam away whenever he approached. It took a while, but eventually Justin realized that his new menacing appearance was the cause of his sad plight. Then one day, he was swimming all alone as usual when he saw the mysterious cod again. He thought it'd be better if he'd go back to his old life, and so he swam towards the cod and begged to be changed back. The cod worked its coddy magic, and suddenly Justin was a prawn once more. With tears of joy streaming down his cheeks, Justin swam straight to Christian's home. As he opened the coral gate, the happy memories came flooding back. He banged on the door and shouted, "Christian, it's me, Justin, your old friend! Come out and see me again!" Christian replied, "No way, you're a shark now and you'll just eat me. I'm not being tricked into being your dinner." Justin shouted back, "No, I'm not a shark anymore. That was the old me. I've changed. I found cod. I'm prawn again, Christian." Fuck's sake.
Oh, fucking hell. For sake. Oh, that is so bad. I found cod, I'm prawn again.
Prawn again, Christian, yeah.
Christian. Oh, God, that's so bad. That sucked.
I was kind of like, oh god, I have to try and get this in, but how the hell can I tell this without self-play?
Oh, that is so bad. Right, anyway, enough of this crap.
Yeah, this is Earth the Madman Morthieus.
You guys have a nice Halloween.
Yes,
and we see you another time.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.